Hello students, in our today's video we will discuss about the last plant growth regulator or the last plant hormone in our syllabus, that is the ethylene. We have studied about the auxin, zebralin, cytokinin and the abscisic acid. The auxin, cytokinin and zebralin were the positive growth regulators which were regulating the growth in many ways, like someone was doing the cell enlargement, whereas the cytokinin was doing the cell division and promoting the growth of the plant. The abscisic acid was the growth inhibitor. Same like the abscisic acid, the ethylene is also the growth inhibitor. Although it promotes some essential functions like the fruit ripening, but it is a kind of the development, not the growth. That's why it is also a growth inhibitor hormone, because it promotes the inhibitor events like senescence and the abscission, and it inhibits the events like apical growth or the growth of the roots and the shoots. That's why it is also a growth inhibitor like the abscisic acid. It is involved in the main function of the fruit ripening. That's why it is called the fruit ripening hormone. Chemically, the ethylene is a gas. That's why it is also called the gaseous hormone. So we will talk about the history of the ethylene hormone first. Nel-Szabo in 1901 note that the ethylene gas can change the geotropic movement of the rods. There is a phenomena which is called the apogeotropism. In this phenomena, the plant's roots shows desensitivity to the sensitivity of the roots towards the gravity is decreased. This phenomena was noted by the Nel-Szabo in 1901. So it is also a function of the ethylene hormone that it decreases the sensitivity of the roots towards the gravity, which was called the apogeotropism, and it was noted by the Nel-Szabo in 1901. Danny was another scientist. In 1924, he observed that the ethylene affects the fruit ripening process, which is the chief role of the ethylene hormone, that it promotes it helps in the fruit ripening. This we will discuss in detail whenever we will discuss the uses of the auxin. So finally, Crocker in 1935 identified ethylene as a natural plant hormone. Ethylene is a gas, I told you. So ethylene gas is identified as a plant hormone that plant naturally produces for its several phenomena like fruit ripening. This was identified by the Crocker in 1935. As like the precursor molecules of the other hormone, like for auxin it was the tryptophan, and for the zebralin and the abscisic acid it was the IPP. So same like that, the precursor molecule for the ethylene is the methionine. It is a very important question generally asked in the various entrance examination. Methionine is an amino acid which is the precursor of the ethylene hormone. The ethylene is being synthesized from the methionine by the Yang cycle. There are several intermediates like S-adenosylmethionine, which is also called the SAMS or the ADOMAT, or the 1-amylosylopropionine, 1-carboxylic acid, and different enzymes are involved like ACC synthase and the ACC oxidase to form the ethylene from the methionine. That you will study in the higher classes. So methionine is the precursor molecule for the ethylene hormone. Chemically, ethylene is gas with the formula C2H4. It is also called the ethene or the ethylene. If we will add water in the ethylene, it will give the ethanol. Two molecules of the ethanol, whenever combined with the one molecule of the water, it will give the ethanol. So chemical nature of the ethylene is it is the gaseous hormone in the nature and can be used by the plants as a plant hormone. So now let's just discuss about the mechanism of action or the uses of the ethylene hormone in the plants. The ethylene hormone increases the membrane permeability because it will increase the concentration of the enzymes, or it will activate some enzymes like chlorophyllase, cellulase, catalase and the peroxidases, which will break down or which will inhibit the growth. For example, the chlorophyllase break down the chlorophyll component, and whenever the chlorophyll will degrade, the concentration of the photosynthesis or the concentration of the growth will also retard or will also decrease. Cellulose is an important ingredient of the cell wall of the plants. If cellulase will increase, the cellulose will be broken down by this enzyme. So if cellulose will break down, so the membrane or the cell wall will become permeable. Same like the catalases which catalyze the different biomolecules. or peroxidases which create the toxicity in the cells. So these are some enzymes which will inhibit the growth of the plants, and these are activated by the ethylene hormone. Whenever the ethylene will be more, their concentration of these enzymes will be increased. Talking about the next function, that ethylene reduces the auxin transport from the tip to the site of the action. We have discussed that the auxin is being produced at the tip regions, whether it is the shoot apical meristem or the roots. Particularly at the shoot apical meristem and the stem's tip, the auxin concentration is much higher. Then the auxin is being transported through the phloem to the other branches and the other organs like leaves. So whenever the ethylene will be present, it will be antagonist to the auxin. It will inhibit the action of the auxin. It will break the transport of the auxin. So the growth will be retarded. So it will decrease the growth. Saying in simple word, it will compete with the auxin. Whenever the ethylene will be more, there will be no auxin, and auxin cannot show its effect, that is the growth or the cell enlargement. So it is also retarding the growth or inhibiting the growth by retarding or by inhibiting the auxin. Next we will talk about the fruit ripening process. The fruit ripening is the chief role of the ethylene hormone. There are two categories of the fruits: the non-climacteric fruits and the climacteric fruits. The fruit ripening process is being achieved by the ethylene hormone. The non-climacteric fruits already ripened on plants. Whenever the fruits will ripen, then only those are harvested. For example, like orange. We did not store the orange. We consume the orange after their ripening. But there are some fruits like climacteric fruits which releases ethylene even after their harvesting, and then they are ripened, or we ripen them in artificially in the stores or the warehouses. For example, if we talk about the banana or the mango, even papaya, these are the climacteric fruits. Banana, mango, papaya, they releases the ethylene hormone. Apple also, they release the ethylene hormone and ripen after their harvesting. We ripen the banana in the storehouses, or we place them in a system where there is a high concentration of the ethylene. For example, you must heard that an apple spoiled whenever we place them in a group of the apples. That's because of the auxin hormone. Tomato is also a fruit botanically. Tomato also releases the ethylene after their harvesting and ripened naturally. So auxin gas promotes the process of the fruit ripening. Next is the ethylene accelerates the abscission. This we have also discussed previous day in our previous video in the abscisic acid hormone, that ABA was indirectly causing the leaf abscission, but ethylene directly causing the abscission, because ABA was increasing the concentration of the ethylene and ethylene accelerates the abscission. That's why ABA was also causing the abscission and ethylene directly causing the leaf abscission. It cuts the supply of the nutrients that were giving to the leaf so that leaf can even survive. Auxin promotes auxin inhibits the abscission, but ethylene inhibits the action of the auxin because it stops the transport of the auxin. So whenever the auxin will not available to this branch, so the transport of the nutrients will also stop, which was achieving by the auxin hormone. That's why ethylene is antagonist to the auxin hormone, and it will cause the leaf abscission because the nutrient supply will be broken down by the ethylene hormone. Ethylene causes the leaf bending, which is also called the epinasty. It will bend the leaves. Next is it suppresses the apical dominance. This we have discussed that it is antagonist to the auxin, or it is opposite to the auxin, and auxin was promoting the apical dominance. But if the ethylene is present, it will break down the effect of the auxin, or it will stop the transport of the auxin to the tip regions. So whenever the ethylene will be more, the apical dominance will be inhibited because the auxin concentration will also be decreased or inhibited. That's why it will cause the suppression of the apical dominance, and it will promote the lateral dominance. That's why plant will give a bushy appearance due to the lateral dominance. In few plants like cucumber plant, it promotes the female sex or the feminism. The ninth function we will discuss in detail. It is also an important function of the ethylene hormone in the plants, that is the triple response. The fruit ripening and triple response are the important function of the ethylene hormone in the plants. The ethylene hormone increases the concentration of the malic enzyme and the pyruvate decarboxylase to increase the respiration. Both of these enzymes, the malic dehydrogenase and the pyruvate decarboxylase, are important enzymes in the process of the respiration, in which the glucose is breaking down into the energy molecules, breaking down into the intermediates, and ultimately give the ATPs, which will be consumed by the cell for the metabolic processes. So it increases the respiration. However, if the food is not available, only then it will be a harmful process. Otherwise, respiration is a necessary process for the plants like the photosynthesis. So now let's talk about the triple response. The ethylene hormone, after the germination of the seeds, affect the hypocotyl region of the shoot of the plant. Hypocotyl is a region between the radicle or the roots and the epicotyl region, which will form the stem or the shoots. The in between region is called the hypocotyl. So ethylene reduces the height of the hypocotyl. This is the first effect. It reduces the length of the hypocotyl. Second thing is it thickens the hypocotyl, and third is it will curl the hypocotyl. So these are three responses. These three responses were detected in a plant, that is the Arabidopsis thaliana, which is a model plant for the experimental botany. So in Arabidopsis, it was noted that whenever the dark grown Arabidopsis, the Arabidopsis plant which are grown in the dark, are subjected to the ethylene hormone, then their hypocotyl, or then whenever their seed is germinated, their hypocotyl shows these three effects. The reduction in the length of the hypocotyl, thickness of the hypocotyl is increased, and it will curl. So the hypocotyl will look like this. These are the two cotyledons. This is the soil. This was the seed which is now germinated. These are the radicles or the roots. But after the ethylene concentration, or after giving the ethylene, it will look like this. The thickness of the hypocotyl is increased, length is also decreased, and it will curl. So these are the radicle, it will curl, and these are the two cotyledons. So this hypocotyl will look like this, the curled and the thick hypocotyl, kind of this. So it is called the triple response. So it was all about the ethylene. The important functions are the fruit ripening and the triple response that are being asked in the exams. There are some facts about the hormones, like human urine also have the auxin. Since auxin is a plant hormone, but some concentration of the auxin is also present in our urine. DCMU, the dichlorophenyl dimethylurea, is a gibberellin hormone which is an inhibitor of the photosystem 2 and the plastoquinin. Because the electrons are being transported from the photosystem 2 to the plastoquinin, at that step if we put the DCMU, then it will be inhibited or terminated. So it is an inhibitor of that step in the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. There is a disease, sleep disease in the plants, in which there is a closing of the flowers. It is also caused by the ethylene hormone. So that's all for today. Have a nice day.